right. Yeah. That's probably my fault. But we back.
We had technical difficulties. Sorry about that, y'all.
Yeah. I don't know what
We
happened. It
back
just
on we
crashed.
back on the Blade Church.
It just crashed. So I don't know. It might have been the browser. I don't know what it was.
All right.
But we back.
All right, we back rolling. So look, hey Cal, so look. Um Try what did you ask him before you got to
I
open up?
asked about his his extensive animal menagerie, because he has all these animals. And he told me that he
Okay.
doesn't have the goat anymore, or the caimans. Um, but you also got a bunch of kids too, Kyle.
Yeah, yeah.
Kyle, how many
We got
kids
it
you got,
going
man?
on. 3?
I thought you had like five, man.
Nah, nah. Thank
Damn, that's good.
goodness.
Three not like yeah, that's cool.
I thought you was trying to be like
I'm
Randy and
retiring my
shit.
jersey.
Oh, you done?
No, I can't. I can't touch Randy. Yep, we're done. We're done.
So what? You gonna go get cut?
Yeah, I was gonna do it for
Yeah.
my birthday, and I bitched out.
And then you had another kid.
Don't let them spay you, bro. You don't gotta get spayed.
Hey man,
We've been
spading is
spending
just
a lot.
female dog.
Plan B is getting expensive, so
Yeah, bro.
we
You know,
we got to
you
make
be
that
letting
happen.
loose.
For real. For real. That's it.
So
God,
they gonna have to
you talk.
they gonna have to take me out of here how I came in, man. You know what I'm saying?
Kyle said, "Leave it in and keep it warm."
So
Just
what's
keep it
up,
warm.
Kyle? How you when the green
Keep it
tree
warmed up. Yeah,
you
but
got real extensive, man. When the green tree python when that passion kick off?
so my first snake was a ball python, and then I started looking into other shit because I got bored. Like when their content is so boring,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking up green snakes because I knew that like it'd be a cool color to have and all that. And I saw green trees, and of course, everything you read on Google and all of that is like don't get green trees, pretty much. Like
Mm-hmm.
everything it says on there is that they're gonna die or they're mean and all of that. So I said, well, I'll just keep the ball python until I'm comfortable with that, and then eventually down the road, I'm gonna feel comfortable enough to do that. And
Yeah.
um, so around that time, Haley, Randy's wife, I had went to school with her and all that. She's like, "Hey, I see you're keeping snakes. You should hit up Randy. He just got back into keeping it again." And so I hit him up, and he's like, "Yeah, you should, join this page, talk to this person, talk to that person," and
Yeah.
that's what I started doing. So he really gave me like the opening to get into it without buying into all of that shit that I was reading and stuff.
Hey, time out, time
So
out.
that
So,
was
are you from? Hey, Kyle, are you from Washington or are you from Florida? I didn't know that Randy was in Florida.
no, I grew up in Washington. I moved here 10
Okay,
years ago.
okay,
Mm.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Um, I moved to Pensacola 10 years ago, but
okay,
I grew up on that island. I left when I was like 20, 22 or 23.
uh
So, yeah.
okay.
But so that's kind of where it started. It was 2018, 2019 when I got my first one. And I got them from Ryan Burke at Bushmaster.
Man, shout out to Ryan Burke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
they were
around,
solid.
man. Yeah.
Solid from the jump. And I was like, really, like this ain't everything that everybody was making it out to be. As far as keeping them and shit, like it's pretty simple. You just
Yeah.
pay attention to detail and all of that. So, but I mean, the
Yeah.
first
Once
the
you,
first green snake I
you pay
saw was an
attention to
emerald.
detail, and you got them rocking and rolling, and then you got somebody that with some knowledge like Randy. Yeah, man. It's simple.
Yeah,
Once you all you gotta really do is pay that, come out of pocket, pay the money what you need to set them up, and man, you good.
yeah, Yeah, like I never minded snakes. I wasn't like into keeping them and all of that. I seen some cool ones and all that growing up, but
Mm.
like for me, what I thought people that kept snakes was like the only time I had ever seen them at somebody's house, they'd be in like a glass tank and they'd be mean as fuck, heat lamp and all that, just like striking the
Yeah.
glass. I'm like, I don't know about all that. You know, there's shit and blood
But
smeared everywhere from the rats.
typical,
So
yeah.
it, yeah, so like talking to Randy really opened up a different perspective of all that. So shout out to Randy
Uh,
for real. Like
yeah,
that's
man, that's good to have somebody
Shout
like
out to
Randy in your
Randy
pocket
P, man.
when you getting in there. And Randy didn't produce before, so he can tell you,
yeah,
all about the keeper part of it. With somebody like
yeah,
that, that's good to have in your pocket, man. Straight up.
yeah. So that all jumped off, and then I want to say it was 2019. I went to the Southeast Carpet Fest in at the Bartolini's house, and that was eye opening too. They had chondros there that they were crazy and stuff, and I just really jumped into it after that. Started reading, and I got the more complete chondro and all that, and
How was that?
carpet
So no,
pythons.
wait though. Tell me how that trip with to Cody and Pia's place was. How was that?
That was crazy. Yeah, to walk in there and it's like just wall to wall snakes, and most of it's venomous. But they had some chondros like in the living room and all that. But literally,
Hmm.
it was crazy to see. It's like they're living in their facility, and it's top
Oh
notch. It really
damn! So
is. And they had
I
a
didn't
big
know that.
property, so
Okay.
at the time at least, I don't know now. It's been a while, but yeah, it was they have a lot of land, and so they got
Okay. Cool.
a spot, and you walk in, and there's like cages around every wall, and then you go in what would be the dining room in most people's house. There's cages on every wall. Um, yeah,
That's
it's
kind of
just
nice.
it
That's
was
kind of
next
raw as
level.
hell.
I
Yeah,
don't know. I
that
don't
kind
know
of
if I could.
introduction to this hobby is
Yeah, I don't know if I could
it
live with
just
like snakes in every room, like and they shit. I can't. I can't smell it in every room. I can't smell snake shit in
I,
every room.
That shit is
I know
punky.
when I bought my house, I was single and I had snakes in every room because I would quarantine in one room. Then I had a snake room. Then I just had one, in my room for my own enjoyment and all of that.
And
Yeah.
then you fill them
But
rooms with
eventually,
kids.
fill the rooms with kids, and then next thing you know, we got a dedicated building because
Yeah.
the babies are living in what used to be the snake room and all that. So,
Okay.
but it's cool, man. It's real cool.
All right. So
I
you go to Cody and Pia place. You see them, check them out. That change your perspective on the keeping part of it. So then, would you take from them and bring back to your space?
I mean, I had like I had a few snakes by then, and
Of course,
yeah,
Pat.
Of course, it's Pat's
yeah.
house.
His job.
His neighbor's
I'm trying to
house.
get like Pat houses with snake. He said houses, but no, I don't know. I had kind of seen like keeping the I was keeping my babies in sterilites already. Like I never had my green trees in a fish tank or nothing like that. Um, but
Yeah.
seeing like their level of like preventing cross contamination and all of that,
Mm.
quarantine, and then nidovirus was really like being talked about at the time. But I still wasn't too crazy about it. But I think after that, I kind of ended up with Noah's Ark syndrome, and I ended up getting like just every good deal that I saw. I was copping. So it was like
Just all
I
of the
had,
fauna
hell,
classifieds and king snakes, everything.
yeah, Morph
Kingsnake.com. Every
Market,
ad that came out, it's like I gotta get that shit.
yeah. So I did all that and I wrapped it up, and then I was like, damn, I don't even know what I'm gonna do with all this. I kept all those for a while, and then down the road, I'm like, I really need to downsize and focus on what I want to do, which was emeralds mostly.
Yeah.
Um, I just had two green trees at the time, but I really wanted emeralds, and I thought at that point that like I had been good enough to try that. So I got my first emerald was import farm bred, but I think he just kept it on pinkies too long because it was a baby and it was close to a year old and he still had it on pinkies. So I was like, hey, look, here's the risk that I'm taking getting this animal. You're feeding it really small. It Trying to size it up might be an issue and stuff. Would you come down on the price? And he's like, yeah, I didn't realize that. He was keeping them like chondros. And so I did that, and I sized it up to fuzzies before it started puking. And like,
Damn.
yeah, it was just one of those things. And then you're trying to like give it a break, and then feed it again, smaller meals, and it just continues puking. So that one died, but I had gotten a U.S. captive bred emerald from Ryan Wallison, and she was bigger from the time she got here. She ate like
Right.
clockwork. Everything was totally different. Like everything that I had read about emeralds and the issues that I might have with them, it was non-existent. So
Yeah. You weren't dealing with that wild card shit.
yeah, nah. Um, yeah, my first five emerald. Well, after that one, my first five emeralds were U.S. captive bred, and then I finally felt comfortable to bring in a wild caught pair, like fresh imports. I didn't want them
Right.
being with the importer too long and all that. So I did that. I converted my walk-in closet to a quarantine area, like an area just for them, and that's worked out pretty good too. So, but yeah, I mean, for all that time, I kind of kept my chondros on the back burner. Like I was really taking my time with them,
Yeah.
and I never expected that chondros would come first. So that's crazy to me.
So, so
I like how like right through the door you was quarantine on top.
Yeah, but
Cause
even
like
then, yeah, I
so
mean,
can we hold on? No, go ahead, finish.
I was gonna say like it only went so far. I mean, my mindset as far as testing for Nido and all of that at the time was like, if there's no symptoms, then what's to worry about? And that bit me in the
yeah.
ass. Like that bit me
Yeah,
in the ass
Right.
hard.
they can be
So
asymptomatic for years and then just crash.
yeah,
Yeah.
Um,
yeah.
so let's start to foray into your chondro keeping. So, when'd you get your first one, and what was your first chondro?
So my first one was jambalaya. That's my Aru Jaipur from Bushmaster. She was a yellow baby. I got her in 2018, and then I think that was November 2018, and then like February 2019 or something is when I got my Cyclops from
Okay,
Bushmaster as well, and that's
that was a
Moonshine.
red baby. Yeah.
He's a red baby. Yeah, red
I
baby.
remember when you got that one.
Uh, yeah, yeah. That's when we followed each other,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's wild. So I had them two for a while, and then 2020 is when I got my Biak. and I got her from Randy. And she's like, man, I wish in the beginning I just racked up as many Beox as I could, because that's kind of my shit right now. Like I really like the
Pat.
way she looks
Damn,
and
you trying to be
the
like Pat?
potential,
Y'all let them be
the
ox.
potential.
Hey,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
can't go wrong with Beox, man. They just live.
yeah, yeah. I was at the pet store the other day trying to like haggle the dude, see if he wanted to trade for a carpet python, because they get these like green trees in, and they just sit on them for a year because nobody wants it because it's mean and all that. But I don't think I don't think he's biting at all. He might down the road,
Stay on it.
Maybe.
but it's a nice one. So
So as far as keeping your early keeping with green tree pythons, what was your setups like when you first started?
so right off the jump, I had 16 quart Sterilites, and then I would just put heat tape around the sides and the back, and
Mhm.
like clamp the lid on with the little paper clip things. And then I had the first I had hanger perches, like just cut up some hangers, and then I switched over to the 3D printed ones.
Okay.
And I just kept them on wet paper towels, disposable water dishes, and yeah, my room wasn't controlled or anything. I had a spare room in my apartment, and I just kept them on top of like a drawer that I had set up. And then it's pretty much I grew them out in those, and then moved them into 65 quart tubs, and I made all the purchases in those removable. And then it gets old for me taking the lid off every time you want to feed them or clean them and all that. And I
Yeah.
have bought what's that Python portals from Specialty Enclosure Designs. And
Yeah,
I
you
noticed with
cut the
those,
front out. You cut the front out, right?
yeah, cut the
Yeah.
front out, and then it has sliding glass. But I noticed with those, because of the size of the tub, I think maybe like the doors were so small that by the time I got them open to feed, I was getting tagged. Like it was just like
Right,
it was like a rhythm. Yeah, it's like okay, I got the door an inch open and she's already out tagging me and all that. So um, at that point, I really liked the front opening for the tubs and the way the tubs kept everything in my room. So I had my wife. I asked her for a router for my birthday. So shout out to her for that, and I
Shout out to the
routed
wives
out
that
my
will let
own
us continue on with this.
swing door. Yeah, yeah, that's crazy.
Shout out
I
to the
think about
wives,
that a
man.
lot. Like
Shout out to the
hmm
wives.
I come home from work from a long day, and I'm like, all right, so I've said hello. I said my piece. I need to go out to the barn real quick, see what's up. But yeah, so I routed out doors and just put swinging doors on all of them. So I've had them like
Yeah.
that for a while now. It's been a couple of years, I think, that I put those doors on, and that's kind of what I want to keep moving forward with is just swinging doors rather than sliding and all that. Uh, and then of course I juggle around with getting PVC cages all the time, but the tubs really work in my room, so it's hard to say where I'm going to end up going with all that.
Yeah. How has it
But
been? So you said you started off with the. How was it being with your quarantine? Like, how was it? How was quarantine in the Emeralds different from the Chondros?
I wouldn't say it's any different. I mean, it's I'm more strict with it now just because of like maturing as a keeper, I guess. Like I really made sure I understood the risk and all of that before I even brought these in. So I brought them around the time my middle son was born, and I had at one point I had quarantined like ATVs and random snakes like that I got in my wife's walk-in closet, and it got kind of old jumping over an extension cord because the outlet is across the bathroom and all that. And I wanted to give her closet space back. So when we put the barn up, we took out a second mortgage to do this, and I had some money that I had them bring power to my closet and set everything up in there so that I could keep the emeralds in that room for good. And so it's just, I just try and be strict. Like if I'm working my wild cots one day, I'm not gonna ever come in here after, or you know, I just don't want to cross contaminate. I try and make sure I get in the shower between. But at the time, I had a pair of carpets that were Nido positive too, and that's what like what Trav was talking about. They could be asymptomatic for years. I had this female. She was like probably my fourth or fifth snake, and I brought her in, and everything was good. Like she never showed any symptoms at all. And then I got a gamma diamond jungle jag and brought him in, and he was cool as hell. And when he hit sexual maturity, I was like, well, let me go ahead and try them out. You know, they had both been through 6 months of quarantine, and all of that. And I paired them up. Well, like 4 or 5 months later, he ended up with a bad respiratory infection in the middle of the summer. Like nothing changed in the room at all. So I immediately tested him, and he tested positive. So then when I tested him, I knew I needed to test like everything when those results came back. So I tested her, and she was positive, and everything else was negative. But those two animals had been paired up, and by that time I had individual tongs for everything and all that. So I knew it was. I'm fairly sure that it was her that brought it in, because the breeder that I got her from fell off the face of the earth. Like if you look them up now, they're not around. So I think they might have sold off their collection trying to get rid of sick animals and all that.
Yeah, that was real. That was really real for a few years. Just old collection sell-offs, and nobody talks about it a lot.
Yeah. So that was devastating, and I'm
gonna need that man. We're gonna have to talk later after the show.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, but
I think I got a feeling.
There were so many people. There were so many people for a while. Like I remember that guy Hollywood Chondros, and he was blowing up, and then it was just like boom, selling everything off. And then, people got all types of sick animals, and they started complaining.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I don't know. She wasn't like, I wouldn't say she was a super big name at all, but this animal had like real good lineage and all that.
Yeah.
So, and I paid good money for her too. It's not like she sold her for the low. I just saw her and decided to inquire about her, and one thing led to another. But yeah. So
how those animals doing? Are they still alive?
Nah. I did try to continue with them, like breeding them and all that, but it gets kind of stressful having to work 3 different groups of animals,
every day.
Into if you're doing nidovirus animals, then wild caught, and then your good animals and all that. It's like somebody at some point was missing something that I just decided I couldn't give them anymore. And
Your lady like,
I thought
damn man,
about
you done took 4 showers a day. What the fuck is this?
for real.
Keep taking
Yeah.
showers.
Yeah, and even then you're not, it's not guaranteeing anything. So
Yeah,
you
yeah, that's true.
you gonna work your babies on different schedules?
yeah. Yeah, I already got them their own tongs and all that, and just to make sure that everything's clear, like do
Yeah,
stuff on different days,
Yeah.
or in a certain order and all that. Everything in
yeah,
this room has been cleared so far, but you know how that goes with testing. Like it could just hit at any time on a test, and then you're asked
that's
out.
true.
So,
Yep,
but
definitely gotta be diligent with that.
yeah, yep.
So
So
so when did you feel you were ready? Like, and then we'll get into actually like when you did it. But what were the signs that you felt that you were ready to breed, not just with the animals, but with you? What did you feel? When did you feel you were capable of doing this? And like, how did that go?
You talking about with his kids?
Nah, not with his
I,
kids. I mean,
Oh, I was about
we're
to
humans.
say.
We don't
I
we
was
don't
about to
plan for our
say.
kids. I
I
mean,
was
I
about to
planned for my
say.
first one. I didn't plan for my second one.
I was
No, he
about to
just
say.
my
my
wife's 27th birthday is when I decided I was ready.
Hey,
Nah,
ready to put a baby on.
no, I never. I wouldn't say that I ever decided I was ready. I mean, I had put animals together just to see. Like in the beginning, I was just like, well, everybody says that when they're ready, they'll do what they do. So
Yeah.
with my green trees, I I paired them for the first time in February, February or January, and my Biot, she kept fucking the Cyclops up. Like every time I would come in the room, I'd hear a thud, and I'd look over, and she was like wrapped around him and all that. So
Shit.
like, okay, yeah, we're just gonna let this go.
She's an
And there have
Amazon. She
been,
said she like that. She like that rap shit.
yeah, yeah,
dominatrix.
and they're all like 4 and 5 by this point.
Yeah.
So I hadn't weighed them in a while, and I weighed them. Like the Biak was 700 grams, and jambalaya was only 483 grams in February. And I said, "Nah, I'm not even gonna bother." Like I was just gonna try and up their feeding a little bit because most people are their animals are bigger by that point, and
But
that's everything
jambalaya
I
is the
had
male.
read was
Jambalaya is the male, right?
nah, that's a female.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
So
that's a female.
the male was bigger than the female.
No, no, he was still smaller. The male is Moonshine. He was around 400 or something. He was,
Okay,
but
I
like
see what you're saying. Okay.
yeah, from like a year and a half on, I just fed them monthly with whatever size prey that I thought they would take,
Hmm.
and that's just how I went with it. So by the time I weighed her, I'm like, well, fuck, she's 5 years old. She's not even 500 grams. So I'm not, I'm just gonna feed them more and then try again next year. So I mean, personally, I wouldn't ever say that I said or I thought that I was ready. I was just testing here and there, trying to see, if it took,
Hmm.
and I wasn't really serious about it. Like if it happened, it happened. But I I don't know. I've had almost like a damn learning disability with trying to figure out the timeline of breeding pythons in general. Like I've read on it. I mean, all those years I read here and there and like
So
took
you was a
notes and all
little, you was a
that.
little LD, huh?
Say what?
He
LD?
said alerted disability. He was
Yeah.
using the
Nah,
Python
I don't
TAB
know.
classes.
The shirt yellow
I
book
just couldn't.
had green sheep pythons on it.
Hee hee.
I'm I'm just
The
I'm just the
mistakes.
type of person that I learn better hands on. So
No, I
So
agree though. I see
like,
what you're saying though.
I couldn't figure it out from reading and all that. I'm just like, oh, so this is gonna happen at this time. All that went out the door, and I just said, whatever. I'll figure it out
Yeah,
when it's
I'll keep it
time.
a buck with you. I don't count it. I don't count it like I counted it the first time, and the second time I was like, I'm not counting this shit. I'm not
Yeah,
counting any of this. Like it's too many like day intervals like to count, and I'm just like I'm not making these day counters. I know like the second time I was just like I know when to just like stop and like put the egg box down, and we'll do it like that. The only time I'm counting
yeah,
anything is the days in the incubator. Besides that, I would never go back to count any of that shit.
yeah, yeah. It was. I think the counting and all that is more stressful than just letting it ride out.
Yeah.
But
And there's some,
it is good to know.
it's some nice to that letting it ride out though, because
Yeah.
it's still the unknown. It's still the unknown excitement that's right around the corner right there
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
chase. You know.
I got a
yeah.
question about your day intervals though, because you kind of uh
You went
I would
out,
say,
child. Restart.
oh my bad.
Restart,
So
child.
you had your clutch at an abnormal time. Like you didn't necessarily seem like you had it during the time where you do the spring cycle. It's definitely not the fall cycle. And I personally don't think that there is like a time to do it. I just think that they'll do it when they want to do it. Um, so like, could you tell me about that at all? Like how you paired and like when you paired and like
Yeah,
that time period.
yeah. So it's crazy. Um, like I said, in February she weighed 483, and I said, "Fuck it, I'm not doing it."
Yeah.
So come like mid-April, May, no, not early April, I decided I was gonna like bump feeding up and stuff, and then I would fast them from June through no May through August. I had planned on fasting them just to see like you know.
So
Well,
April. So what? So the whole month of April, you that's when you bumped them up. What did you feed them during that time?
bro, it was half-assed. I fed her like I think I fed her 3 meals, and they were all small rats. I fed her 3 meals at that time, and then May 1st, I went to feed my male, and he refused. It was like 3 days after he shed, and he refused. So I was like, "That's weird." Well, I continued trying to feed the rest of the room, and I had this like I think he's like 2 years old now, my Diamond Jungle, and he refused too, and he had never refused. So I'm like, well, that's not a coincidence. Somebody in this room is cycling right now.
Right.
So I took Moonshine, and I had just put him in with Jambalaya first, and I don't know why, but that's who I put him in with first. And I went to work and came back that night. I came out here just to check, and they were locked up.
Mm.
I was so that was yeah May 1st I paired them up before I even got the chance to fast or anything. And then so at
Your
that point
female is 5.
I
She's what,
started
five and a
I
half.
started of
She's
course
5.5 at this point.
yeah she's 5 or 5.5.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, at this point 5.5. Yeah, yeah. Uh, but that's a one. Like I said, she was not even 500 grams in February.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So my thought is she couldn't have gained all that much weight even with those feedings and stuff. Like in my other animals, I've seen them gain maybe like 20, 25 grams or something in
Yeah.
that period of time. So
But
then
if she's
I
5 years
I
old,
waited.
I mean that's perfect breeding age.
Yeah, yeah, and I left them together for a week or two, and I was like, well, shit, if she's cycling, who knows about the girl next door? So I put him in with the Biok, and it took him a little while, but he locked her up too. I was like, damn, he's a stud. And I thought, he was soft because just in February she was beating him up. But yeah, he locked her up too. And then eventually it came to the point where I was like, I gotta either focus on this pair or this pair. And so I put him back in with Jambalaya, and he locked up with her for a few more times, and it just transpired from there.
Mm.
And nothing ever came with the Biot after he
So then
started.
you get your first lock with them, your pair that eventually, you know, end up laying. How'd you go about the temp drops and feeding during the whole breeding process of
Oh, you took my question.
that? What? Ooh, that's like the first one in like 2 years.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so
How I feel,
with that,
motherfucker.
I have been talking. That was around the time Silas was born. And ain't his name Silas too?
Yeah. This is
That's wild.
Silas Martin Irvin the third.
That's wild. What up, dude? But that was
People
around the
always
time
tell somebody
Silas
from
was
the
born.
south because they number and they got a middle name.
Hey, we got lineage. Yo, have you ever met somebody that don't have a middle name?
Nah, nah.
I have. I've met a few people, and every time I met
I
somebody that
never
didn't
either.
have a middle name, I was like, man, your parents ain't really love you.
Serial, are
They
they
just had
serial
to give
killers?
you. Yeah, it's just like they you came and they was just like, fuck this, just give it a name. We take this motherfucker. In the South, you got to get a
Yes.
middle name, but when you meet people from the South that don't got middle names, you're just like they don't really give a fuck about
I'm
Damn, bro.
surprised Nick got two.
I'm gonna start looking for that everywhere now.
you. You gonna come
I
People,
am.
across
people, people with middle
I
names.
will. I know. Now that you mentioned it, they're gonna be all over. It's gonna be like when you get a new car and you're like, yeah, I haven't seen anybody with this, and then you're driving and you start seeing them everywhere.
yeah,
Yep,
you.
it's gonna be
Mm,
just like that.
for real. Because
Yeah.
that was my first Infinity. I thought I was doing something. I got this G35X. Ain't nobody got this.
But
You see a million of them.
oh yeah,
I saw
they're all over the
about a
road. Then.
thousand of them the
Yep.
next day.
That is true,
Yep.
Pat. That is true.
What do you say? I was about to say, I'm
Yeah.
surprised. I'm surprised Lil Silas ain't got two names.
Especially the girls from the South. They usually got two middle names.
My
Mary
wife
Jo,
and my
Bobby
oldest
Sue,
have two
Betty
middle
Lou Ann.
names. Yep. Yeah, but so that was I was talking to you, Trav. I was at work talking to you about polydesol and shit. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry, my bad. But
you
I
good.
was I was talking to you, and at that point, I was like, "Oh, I gotta get some of this stuff. If this female's locking up, like, I don't know if she's calcium deficient and all that. So I'm gonna try and get some of this in." Well, I went and got it, and I injected a couple rats with it, and that was the first time she refused. That was like that
Damn,
was a few
that's
weeks after.
that's
Yeah,
fucked up.
so and I had hit up Pat too, asking him like, do you think this is an ovulation and all that? Because she was real swollen. He's like, they usually ovulate a few weeks after their first refusal. Just wait and see. Well, I
Yeah.
didn't know because I hadn't fed her in 2 weeks already before she refused, so I didn't know. I was just kind of gauging it at that point on my own, trying to see. But so really, as far as feeding and all that went at that point, there wasn't. The male was still refusing, and she was refusing. So there was no change in all that except for what they did on their own. Then,
So
oh, go ahead.
no, so like I think that generally, like I think that people expect to see the ovulation like directly after the refusal. and it
Yeah.
usually takes a while. Just from what I've seen, and I had ovulation a few days after refusal, but it was like the snake had shed, and then it didn't want to eat after it shed, and then it had
Yeah.
ovulation.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like anything that I thought I knew at that point kind of went out the door.
Yeah, just ask
I just
Pat. Pat
started.
knows.
Yeah.
So what? So when
I,
you waited to your female ovulated to take your male out?
I had taken him out before that, and then after I talked to him, I put the mail back in because I'm like, maybe I did it too early. Maybe I did it too early. So I
Yeah.
put him back in, but nothing happened for that period of time. It was like a week before she ovulated. I put him back in. But I mean, when they initially locked up, it was constant for like the first 2 weeks. It was very constant. So I had
Yeah.
no doubt at that point, that he had got enough in her.
You had to sleep in it.
Yeah,
So then it was time for me to worry if she was gonna make it because I'm like, damn, maybe I messed up. She's so small. But
I mean, after getting beat up by the male all the time, they was fighting and shit.
yeah,
Did you ever
yeah,
like
he's
see them? You ever
No, the
see them
females.
fighting?
These are the females beating up the male.
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't her either. It was the other female.
Oh, did you
It
ever
was
see your
the
chondros
Bia.
fighting and then like go in and look at them while they fighting, and the female be like, "Fix your face." You ever see that?
Like she look at you?
Not yes. Does the chondros ever tell you fix your face after you catch them fighting and shit?
Nah, dude. She was steady, like she was holding on to him. I felt bad. I had to get his little ass out of there.
He was getting his ass beat. He was getting his ass beat like
He
hot girl
was.
from the color purple and shit.
Yeah, yeah. She was giving it to him
The wrong way.
the wrong way.
The wrong way.
But yeah. So at that time, I don't know. I tried to keep my head level and not expect anything at all. Like I really didn't expect anything to go anywhere.
That's the best way, man.
But yeah,
Low
yeah.
expectations.
Low expectations, no heartbreak.
The people that seem to like to me that
You
seem
only
to
quite a
be
black. Mary Jo,
that's what
Bobby, Sue, Betty Lou, and
I
what?
bet you Pat. I bet Pat buys barbecue from this quarter black lady.
Marlon, what's going on? She only a quarter black.
She's like, let me go get some. Let me go get some barbecue
What
from
is the
this
other
quarter
Southern
black lady.
accent?
Honduran milk snake.
Huh, huh, darn.
I know black.
But yeah, man. So
Yeah.
What up,
did,
Vivid?
so what type of incubator did you use, and did you test it a lot? Because I know we talked a few times, and like I'll be honest with you, Kyle. Like I think that you could do a lot on your own, especially when you showed me the specs for the rack that you built, and I was like, man, because Kyle, you gave me confidence to build my own.
Man, the
Because
rack. The
Yeah.
rack. We're
yeah,
gonna
Yeah.
get to that, man. Don't even talk about the rack
we're
yet.
not
The
gonna
rack.
talk about that. We're gonna talk about the
Wait, hold
incubator.
on, hold
Eh,
on, wait,
Hold
wait,
on.
wait, 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 wait. 'Cause, yeah, that rack,
Yeah.
man. Whew.
Yeah. I mean, I really,
So, what'd you do
I,
incubator
I,
wise?
I
Like
did
breakfast?
the 24-inch sea serpents, and I got water bottles on every shelf, and then the well, and then a water pan. And in the beginning, I had that air stone going in there because I had heard good things about it. And then I hit up Kino and was like, "Hey, you got the sea serpents, don't you?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "So what did you do about the condensation on the top?" He's like, "I don't get condensation on the top." I said, "Well, shit, I'm getting a lot. It was dripping down on the probe, uh, like a week after I put the eggs in here, the condensation from the top of the incubator dripped down the probe. And it was reading like a totally different temperature. So the heat
Yeah.
spiked a couple of degrees. So when I talked to him, he told me to pull that air stone, and I did, and it definitely changed a lot. Like I was creating a lot of extra humidity in there because it was already 99.9 the whole way through. Um, but I did test it. Soon as they started locking up, I was like, I got to get this thing adjusted. So
Yeah.
I had got in my
Hands on it.
I used the extra large sim containers and I put them in there. I set them up with vermiculite, like 1 part vermiculite, 1 part water, the grates, and then I ran it. Initially, I put press and seal on the boxes and had like all the air holes taped up, and I did that, and it was pretty stable, and that was like, dude, I ran it for like 3 weeks at least, just testing the temperatures and all that, and everything seemed good until I got the eggs in. And then at first it was like up, down, up, down, up, down. So
Yeah.
the probe, the probe was like directly in front of the fan, probably 6 inches out. I had talked to you and Pat about that. We're like relocate the probe a little bit. So I moved it down closer to the box, so where it was just like not touching the box, but right above it, and that stabilized the
For that one.
temps. Yeah, that stabilized the temps a lot, and then the probe and the humidity issue, pulling that air stone fixed that, and so it was 86.5 all the way through, and then when I got
Okay.
to the last week, I had 5 of 8 air holes open on the tub. Like I left the ones on the backside closed so the fan wouldn't dry out the eggs. And I ended up dropping it to like 86.2 just because the eggs were climbing. And that kept it at 86.5 for the rest of the time.
That was smart too
Uh,
with the holes, because I did that shit. I opened mine on my first batch and then threw mine. But I don't think that's not the only reason. But I think that has something to do with it. Opening them holes closest to the back of the fan.
mhm.
Yeah, I think that made me put my tub sideways the next time. So I was like, I'm gonna open this. It's gonna get that. It's gonna be recirculating there instead of that direct air.
Yeah, well, like the XL SIM containers only fits one on the shelf. Like even if you
Yeah.
put it long way. So I got them turned, and like initially I was talking to Pat about doing the press and seal, and he's like, "Well, you're running a wet chamber, so why do you need to seal the box?"
He
So I
told me
had
the
two,
same. He told me the same damn thing.
Yeah.
yeah, and I had the one hole open on each end, and then I left the lid just chilling on top because the humidity was good in there. And I didn't run into any mold issues or anything like that at all. Like it
Yeah.
was, I could have just left it the whole way through probably. And then Randy, I remember years ago Randy telling me this, but putting that like a construction fencing domed over the eggs, and I only had plastic like chicken wire from when I built the Cayman enclosure. But I arched that over the eggs and just put a couple paper towels on top. And that way, if any condensation dripped, it would drip onto the paper towels and not onto the
Yeah. Catch it.
eggs. So I just left enough where I could see the eggs still, even though like that door was so wet I couldn't see it without opening it anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah, that worked out real good. Um, Other than that, yeah, no, I can't think of anything else specific as far as
Okay.
incubation goes.
You
Herpstat,
said that.
I
You said
ran a
that last
herpstat.
week. That last week you dropped them down to what?
86.2.
22. Okay.
I just, yeah, I just dropped it enough to keep it at 86.5. I wanted to straight bake them. So,
And then you got 15 out
and
of 15. So yeah,
Yeah.
15 out of 15. Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
I was expecting like
take a
day
shot to that.
53 or 54. Yeah, I'll drink to that.
Congratulations, man.
I appreciate it, y'all. That was
Hey, man,
crazy.
we
Yeah.
appreciate you coming to kick it with us, man.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Anytime.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was expecting like day 53 or 54 for them to start hatching, but it happened on day 52. I got my first pit.
Okay.
And then it was day 55 that the last one came out. Oh, but some crazy junk happened with the I had three that waited to pip. And on the last I had moved all of the babies that had hatched to one tub in the rack. And there was one that had poked his head out but didn't come out of the egg, and then one that hadn't hatched at all, like hadn't done anything. I cut the egg and I could see it in there but never saw any movement. And on
Right.
day 54, I looked, I had got my new phone, and my old phone was on the charger in the room. And I went in there to like clear it out. And when I looked at it, I was like, oh, that can't be right. It says the egg box is 89. And I looked at the app for the thermostat on the mini split, and that bitch said 93. I was like, what the fuck? So I ran out here real quick. Dude, I went crazy. I ran out here,
Mhm.
and it sure enough was 93 in here. And I had a couple issues with the mini split like in the days before that, but it would get cold, not hot. And it was like not turning on the schedule that I had set to cool the room down or warm it up.
What type
And
of
so
mini
yeah, it
split do
was
you have?
Mr. Cool.
Yeah, so I got a Dakin, and when I had mine installed, because I got one that was like much bigger than I needed for the room, and I had to call
Hmm.
him a few times, and I was like, "Hey, man, like, how do I get this thing to set on schedule and stay at a consistent temp?" And he was like, "Well, the problem with mini splits is they really don't. And as the weather changes and the pressure in your room and your temperature is different, it fluctuates. It sometimes, like I guess all mini splits do this, and they kick on when they're not supposed to kick on, and they'll make the room hot when it's supposed to be cold. Like I got mine downstairs in the garage, and I'll have to literally go out there every day to like put my hand up there to check it because sometimes it just really won't be cooling, and I just got to cut it off and turn it back on."
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about that, bro. I spent a lot of
I
a
don't
lot
know
of
either.
money to put this bitch in, and then all of
Damn.
a sudden I'm
Yeah.
like, the last egg's about to hatch, and I'm like, I made it a goal of mine to hatch all 15 eggs because her being as small as she was and stuff, like I feel like she overcame the odds, and it was my duty to make sure to see that through and all that. So from
Yeah,
day
she
one,
put her
I
all into
I
that
put
clutch.
that
Yeah.
goal for real. So I would have been devastated had I lost that one egg. But I came out here and opened the windows. I opened the door, turned up the fan, turned on the AC from the app, and opened the incubator and pulled the box out. I moved the snake that was perched to the rack with the other ones, and I just like peeled back the egg a little bit to look and see. And when I did,
Yeah.
the Neo poked its nose out and started tongue flicking. So I'm like, okay, we're good. So I just left the door open until it came back down to 80, 85 or so, and then closed it back up again. But yeah, I've been going back and forth with them people about the tech team or whatever. They're like, oh yeah, just we're gonna delete the schedule and then we're gonna put it back on and then just tell us how it goes in a couple of days. And I'm like, in a couple of days, it's been the same. It's been
Yeah,
the
man.
absolute same.
I've had mine for over 3 years now, and I'll keep it a buck with you. Like even with calibration of it, like recalibrating it, there's always like a weird temperature gap. So like if I set my mini split now to 80 degrees on cool, it's gonna be like 74 in the room.
Yeah, yeah,
And in the wintertime when I set it to heat, like if I set it to like 70 degrees to heat, it'd be like 75, 76 in that room. And sometimes, like when the temperature really drops, it'd just shoot up and it'd be hot as fuck in there. So it'd be
yeah,
like 80
yeah.
degrees in that room.
I'm about to
Damn.
put a fan in the window, man.
Yeah.
Put a fan in the window. But
No, yeah. I don't know. I just and it sucks because the week after she laid, I came in here and she was moving a lot, and so was the girl next to her, and both of
Hey,
their
your
heat
audio
panels
changed.
failed.
Your audio changed, Kyle.
Oh, hold up. I might have been blocking it with my hand. Is it better?
Nah, it's still low. It's like muffled.
There you go.
it's back.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
back
there you
now.
go. There you go. All right, there you go.
But their heat panels failed. Like the hertz that was going and all that, but it was 78 in the middle of the day in their cage, which was all right. I just noticed they were off, so I decided to just do the whole room ambient at that point because everything was running good. And then as soon as I
Okay.
did that, I started having issues with the Wi-Fi connection. So now we're at like them telling me to monitor it and just control it manually. So I'm getting up at like if I wake up at 4, I'm checking the app and like changing it over manually and all that. So I don't know what I'm gonna
It's a
do.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But I yeah, I'll figure it out. I know that if I decide to roll with heat panels, I'm swapping everything out back to pro panels because I've never
What
had
was
an
the
issue with my pro panels.
I was about to ask you, what was the issue with the pro with the what it was a VE?
Yeah, they just won't heat anymore.
Mm.
They
That's
won't.
odd.
They yeah, it's set to 83.5,
Hold
but
on,
they
hold on.
won't.
Did you check your fuse in the back of the VE?
I got. I don't have the VE though. They're on a Hertz stat,
Okay. So
and that might be why.
With the VEs, they have a little fuse in the back of them. Like you get a replacement fuse. Is right where you connect the actual cord to it. It's an extra fuse in there. You might have blown the fuse because it'll still be on, but it still won't actually do the. I think I went out. I had to talk to the people at VE for a while, and they also offer like lifetime guarantees. So like if you have a VE thermostat, you can just send it back and they'll send you a new one.
Well, you could send me one
Uh,
of your you could send me your heat panels.
hey, you can have them shits. You you can
Send them to
have
me. I'll
them.
replace the fuses in them. Send them to me.
Well,
I switched.
that's like the third time. Before it got too hot, it like roasted one of my ATBs almost. I came in there and it was like
What
98
up, brother?
degrees.
Dre, what up, Drizzy?
What up, Dre? Uh, but yeah, so that's when I was
Putting
like,
I
I'm
put
not gonna
on
mess with that anymore.
for the little people.
You know what I'll tell you? So I switched out a few of my cages. I think I got up to like four of them that are using chicken brooder plates, and I like them better than like the actual heat panels, and I think they heat more evenly. Um,
Yeah,
and they've been lasting longer too.
I
Like
had
I
looked
got,
into those.
yeah, I think they work better. I mean, I know people are gonna say no, but I wouldn't buy another heat panel in my life. I just go with those
Really?
things.
You talking about the chicken coop?
Yeah, in the chicken coop, the booty coop.
I do like my
That's
pro panels, but I just like at this point now, I've dumped so much money into all of this. I'm like, damn, I gotta like slow down for a minute and just think about everything I'm gonna do, or else I'm just gonna end up changing it out eventually anyway. Like it would be easy to just go buy a bunch of Reptile Basics heat panels and replace all the ones that are messed up, but
yeah.
trying to be more methodical about it. And if I could get the whole room to do its thing, then that's even better. I mean, I'm in Florida, so the temperatures really work for me with the ambient, which is why I was doing it anyway. But when that
Do you
started
think that
messing up,
split?
then I have to
Do you
question
think that
everything.
split? You think the split was throwing off your the VEs?
Nah, nah, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because I didn't. It's not like I didn't let the room get like real cold in the daytime. I still kept it pretty close to where I wanted everything to be, so that they didn't have to work as hard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see.
How long would you? How long was it before before you start noticing that the split wasn't reading as accurate as you like?
Oh, dude, it ran flawlessly until like a month and a half ago. Then I started having issues with it, and that's what I was telling the tech team is that it's not the unit itself because if I turn it on manually, it does what it's supposed to do. But my schedules are not running like they're supposed to. Like it'll be I got it's supposed to turn off at 4 a.m. and just heat up naturally until it gets to like 83, then it'll start cooling back down to 80. And then at 7 p.m., it should let it get back down to 78. And I was having to go on there and change it like 45 minutes after. If I would notice, I'd have to change it back over, even though it said that it was on the comfy night schedule or the comfy day schedule. I'd have to automatic like or manually change it over for it to actually run like that. So
It's still
it's
running
I don't
those few extra degrees during the night.
yeah it's not the
Mm.
unit, um it's not its ability to cool, it's the technology.
Yeah. It's
It's
hard
got
to
to be the
keep them.
technology.
They have
Yeah,
this
I'm
big
like Tim.
swing to them, and they
Yeah,
they call it something. It's something some term they have for it, where like mini splishers have a weird swing to them, and even
Yeah.
most HVAC people
Great HIP what? So they
they
again,
don't
sorry.
want most HVAC companies like they don't really want to work on mini splits, and even though mini splits are like smaller units and they cost less to put freon into or coolant because they call it something else they call it coolant. Uh, they still charge you like more than to work on a traditional AC unit. But one of the
yeah,
things about them that I realized like you just got to get them service. They work better when you get them service once a year.
that makes sense.
And like
But I mean, this
you can if you lose coolant like a pound of coolant like it'll swing heavy.
yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, this thing ain't even been installed for a year.
Yeah.
Like my room, I finished it in September of last year, like late September. So I don't know. It'll all play out the way it's supposed
Yeah.
to. I'm just right now having to keep a close eye on it and all that.
Hmm. So
But
so when do you plan on what you gonna wait till everybody shut out then start feeding trials? How's this going?
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Uh,
Okay.
I could see in the reds right now that they're in shed already. They're kind of like purpley looking.
Yeah.
Their eyes are hazy and all that. The yellows, I can't really tell,
It's
but
hard.
Bruh, it's gonna be hard for the
It's
yellows.
yeah,
You not it
yellows is
seems like
hard.
you don't find the yellows you can't tell until like 3 days before. Then you see them
yeah,
all purple with the eyes. You like, oh shit, let me
You
spray.
want to know
yeah,
the only time that I found it's easy to see when yellows are shedding is like when it's early on with the baby and it's still got the baby sheen to it. Because you'll come in and you'll be
yeah,
like, this baby don't have the baby sheen to it. But then like at like 6 months or so, like it's hard as shit to tell like when they're in shed sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, I believe that. But I did make the mistake of ordering like regular sized pinkies, and these things are like way smaller than I could have imagined.
Oh no,
I
they'll be fine.
you know I always see people posting like them up next to a quarter or something. Not always, but Mark would post them next to a quarter and all that.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to imagine that, even having raised the babies, like when I got them, they weren't that size. They were already at least 6 months old or so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
they grow a
uh,
lot, and you want to know the crazy part? Like they grow even if they are undersized. Like once they start catching on and eating, they grow really fast too. Like
yeah,
And
they're still in that.
they'll be eating those full size pinkies soon. Watch.
Yeah, it'll be real
yeah,
soon.
yeah. So,
Probably second
fortunately, it
feed.
was.
I'll probably say second feed. You can try one,
Peace out,
like
fairy
one or
tale
two.
scales.
Did y'all did y'all weigh any of your neos like when they were
Nope,
born?
nope.
Not
They
No.
me.
didn't give a they give a shit.
I'll be honest with you. I ain't weighed not one of them damn things at all. I ain't weighed no
Yeah.
eggs, nothing.
I think that like
No,
the only
I
time
just
I would weigh a neo at this point in time are like the ones that I'm
I
checking
ain't
for
got nothing
sex.
against it. I ain't got nothing against it, Cal. I just didn't care for it, honestly.
I weighed them just to see because
Yeah.
her being as small as she is, I don't know if I produced a litter of runts or something. But I weighed them all today, and I think the smallest one was like 8 grams, and the biggest ones were 10. And I'm like, well, that seems pretty normal compared to what
Yeah.
some people have said. Like they've had like a 4 or 5 gram neo that was a real pain in the ass. So
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah,
pretty comfortable with it.
I'll keep it a buck with you. Like really, at this point in time, when they're super young, man, like measurements and things like that, and trying to keep them up with how you see other people keeping them up, it might be kind of daunting because this is your first time doing it. Really be it may not necessarily be one of those things that's like super helpful for you to do. And
Yeah.
I talked to you earlier, and I was just like, yo, just try to live in the moment. As long as they're living, that's a
Yeah,
good thing. Don't stress out about a
yeah,
lot of that other shit. Just keep them alive and just enjoy it, man, because this is your first time around.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not too hard to ground myself and think of that too, because if I had listened to what everybody else said, then I wouldn't even have this clutch
That kind
right
of one. That's
now
my biggest one now.
True,
with her being as big as she was. So,
true.
but yeah, they dude, it blew my mind though. I knew I knew there would be some red and some yellow babies, but I thought like I don't know. I was just happy with the outcome. Like I
Yeah,
got a lot of stuff that I've only seen on like Facebook posts and stuff. Like I don't know that the real dark babies with the gold dorsals or
That's a
the
hell of a
yellow
feeling, huh?
babies. Yeah, the like spotty yellow babies and it's crazy.
yeah. When you really look at them, they're just like, oh, they all have differences.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. Like the yellow ones, I'm impressed with. Yeah,
Hey,
I have decided that I'm not just a red baby guy.
hey, me too, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love a yellow
yeah,
baby, man.
yeah. They're dope. So,
So I mean, I think that
but
personally, like it's one of those things that you probably should get caught up in. It's just yellow babies or red babies because you can see some spectacular yellow babies and you can see some really lackluster red babies.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just how it goes, man.
So I'll say it like Moonshine, being a red baby and all that, and I got him, and I was like, yeah, who knows what he's gonna turn out like? And I think his dorsal pattern and all that now really make me think of a yellow, like what you would think a yellow would be like his
Yeah.
his baby his neo pattern stayed kind of as is. he went through this cool phase where he picked up a lot of black, and then it all went away. So
Yeah.
This is the biggest baby, I
that
think.
might
My biggest
phase.
baby, 30
Oh damn.
grams right now.
Oh yeah. Man, I like them red purchases that Chris made you, man. Shout out to Chris.
These are
Shout
Those are
out
Charizard
to
dope.
Chris.
purchase.
Yeah.
Those are dope.
These are Charizard purchase.
Charizards.
Charizard.
You gotta call them Charizard Flames, bro. Charizard Flames.
You got the red and white,
Charizard flame.
the candy paint. Trav, I
Hell
know you
yeah.
know what that is. I know you know what that is, Trav. The flip
That's
flop.
clean as hell.
Listen,
Yes,
I don't
sir.
Hey,
listen.
shout out to Chris. Shout out to In the Box 3D, man.
I've never had a paint job on a car that flipped and flopped. So I need you to chill out with that shit.
So, you had a box Chevy.
I didn't have a box Chevy. I had a Buick Skylark at one point in time with gold rims.
Oh.
I was.
Yeah, you had gold rims on it.
Well, you had go
You don't need Hey, you don't need candy paint there, man.
I had a cherry red Buick Skylark with gold rims on it, with some gold 20s.
As
Yeah.
as long as the rims didn't cost more than the car, you're good.
Most certainly,
Yeah.
the rims cost more than that.
Oh damn!
He had the gold teeth to match. That's the
Shut up, bro.
That's wild.
They didn't match the rims. They were gold, but the gold teeth and the rims didn't match, bro.
Hey, so tell us how you went about building your separate room, because you built all that shit yourself by hand.
For the most part.
The craftsmanship.
So at the time, like having the second baby on the way in a 3-bed, 2-bath, we're like, we probably need a bigger house, And my wife knew from the jump that like what the snakes mean to me.
Yeah.
It's not just for play and all that. Like it's what I do.
He was like, "Babe, I'm
And
keeping the snakes," and she was like, "You saw the figure of her face."
yeah. Yeah, so we saw
Fix your face.
we were looking at that's wild.
The snakes are staying.
The snakes are staying. Yep. Don't ever ask anything different. But we were looking at houses and stuff, but I couldn't do it at the time.
It was a terrible time to buy a house, bro.
Yeah, I had just bought this in 2019, so we started looking into everything, and like an equity loan was the way to go. I had some equity in the house, and she's like, "Hey, have you checked out this?" I saw this billboard for backyard barn, and what they do is it's portable buildings, and you could like customize them on their website. You could add electrical packages and stuff like that. So I started looking into it, and then I had a vision of what I could do with it. So I went through and applied for the equity loan, and that worked out. And so they were gonna deliver the building when it was ready to go. I chose the colors, like electrical, if you wanted it, and all that. And they were gonna deliver it. So I used the rest of the money to like grade my property, because it wouldn't flood, but like when it rained, the water would stand in my yard for like a couple weeks straight.
You had puddles and puddles and mud puddles and shit.
Oh yeah, after Hurricane Sally, we had like a mini lake in our backyard, and it was just like a mosquito breeding facility. Oh, it was bad. Yeah, so I had them grade the property and put a foundation down for the building. They delivered the building, and then I used what I had in the budget to like try and get extra stuff done, like run power to the from the house to the sub panel, but it wasn't much. So as far as everything went, I had to do the insulation, the drywall, the floors, um, and paint and all of that in here. Like I did a lot of it myself. Pretty much they brought the building, dropped it off. I rewired what I needed for electrical and then did everything else. And so that
Well,
was
good shit, boy.
yeah, it was wild. It was wild.
Yeah.
And the thing is, my house looked good when I bought it, but man, the upkeep on that thing is crazy. Like whoever built this house, they might don't got it. They just don't. But I tried to like take my stuff from inside, like doing remodels on the
Yeah.
bathroom and stuff, and apply it out here, and it worked out for the best.
But that's
So
but you shooting your value up. But you shooting you like the skyrocket is on that value of that land. So when you
yeah,
move, you'll be able to reap some benefits off that if y'all ever plan on getting something bigger.
yeah,
Or as church,
yeah. I
as Pino
figure
says, church on the move.
church on the move.
Church on the move, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I
When I
mean, if
say
we
church,
got
they ain't that church. They number, just people sitting around chilling, riding nice. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes maybe gambling, shooting dice. Everybody
yeah,
having a good time. Church on the
yes,
move.
sir.
Church.
If we're gonna have to be in here for a while, like it just everything has to be what contributing back to what we'll get from the house later on.
Yeah.
So
But you want to be
doing
comfortable in there
doing
too.
this,
You want it to be how you want it.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I ran I got a sink in here with hot water, so I don't gotta run in between the house and here to like thaw out rats and heat them up and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And everything is accessible in here. Like if I gotta do anything out here, I can stay out here as long as I need to, and then I'm done when I'm
Man,
done.
it was so nice to
So
have, man. You could just live out there, be like fall asleep out there.
yeah,
Do
hey, it
your
made
wife
it.
and do your wife and kids just come and knock on the door and just show up in there?
Are you plan on visiting us anytime soon?
Pretty, it's pretty rare. Like I try and make sure like we're in a good spot before I go outside, which is it's not always going to happen, especially when
Oh,
she was gravid and all of that. I'm like, hey, I get it. It's crazy in here right now,
oh,
but I gotta go out there.
wait till all
I gotta go
15 of
out
them
there.
babies. Wait till them 15 of them
Shit.
babies start shitting on you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm on vacation right now, but I'm trying to stay waking up at like 4 a.m. because that's what I'm used to for work and all that. So if I continue to do that, then it won't be so bad. Because I really don't want to do that on like our time and all that. But
That's what I did. I alter my time to wake up a little bit earlier. That's when I do the baby. So, don't take
yeah,
away from the family.
yeah,
Yeah, I usually do it once everybody goes to sleep.
Yeah.
Like once everybody's asleep, I'm just like, all right, well now I can mess with babies.
Yeah.
yep, yeah. That's the plan. See
Unless
how
they
it
shit in the
goes.
water. They shit in the water, then I gotta do this right
It's
now.
it's game on. Yeah, yeah. But so yeah, all this room here it worked out for the best. The only thing is that I'm like, if we do move in the next few years or whatever, I would have a hard time not having them move this to our new property and just put a straight like shed on the property and stuff, which would mess everything up. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I feel
So
you.
it,
then, go ahead. My fault, Kyle.
oh, I was gonna say it just shrank fast. A few months ago, I just had like my little grow out rack and the rack with the adults on it, and now I got a baby rack, the grow out rack, the little arboreal rack, and then another big rack so I can move them into bigger cages. And the chameleon's out here now because the Bengal was plotting on him, and we couldn't have that. He was, dude. We did this like big, nice cage. We had it on display in the living room, and my son, he just kept begging us for a cat, and so we decided to get a Bengal, and she is constantly like just sitting on her perch, just staring and like trying to figure out how she could get in there.
Jumping on top of the cage when y'all ain't there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
Stressing the shit out the community.
yeah, he's out here
This
now, so it's
motherfucking
like
bitch.
all this space is quickly being filled in.
Hey, bro, that's how I felt
So,
about my garage, bro. It's normal. Eventually, I'm gonna be like Pat, just have houses just full of snakes.
yep, yep.
Yeah,
Nothing
last
wrong
house
with
on the
that.
blade. On the blade.
He said on the
On the
blade.
blade.
Cal, hey Cal, now you wishing that you would have added a little bit more feet to your room now that you built.
The what?
Now you wish you added a few more feet on to your
Oh
little
hell
place you
yeah,
built.
yeah, yeah. It's a 12 by 24 building, but I had them partitioned off like 8 feet so I could park the mower in there. And now I'm like, what size shed do I gotta get to put over there to put the mower in so that I could do like, I
Like
don't know, maybe breed rodents on that side because that rodent bill is getting hefty.
well,
Yeah.
that could be your
It's
baby
getting
room.
up
That could be
there.
your baby room.
Or the baby room. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see how.
So
We'll see what it turns into. Yeah,
you say fuck this more.
yeah, yeah. Fuck the mower. I'll sell that to pay somebody to come mow the shit. But
Uh,
yeah,
like me, pay somebody's son. That's what Travis do. Travis just go around his neighborhood like just trying to get the cheapest child welfare he can. Just go around just beating kids out there hard earned sweat for pennies on a dollar.
Hey man, listen, a kid tell me he need $30. I'll be like, all right, cut this grass. Cut this
hey,
grass.
I'll wait till my kids are old enough. I ain't paying these badass kids in this neighborhood. Mm-mm. Badass kids.
Hey man, at least the kids is outside in your neighborhood. The kids in my neighborhood don't come outside.
Cause you asked that boy to carry a refrigerator. You wonder why he don't want to come over there.
Listen, I did ask him to carry a refrigerator. He's a kid, not a crackhead, bro.
You treat him like he was one of
I don't have
You
him.
offer him $5.
I don't have him
You offer him
cleaning my. I
$5
don't
for it.
have him cleaning my rims with spit, bro. He's a kid, not a crackhead.
You do, bro. Then you go over there and purposely ask his parents for it. Can I come beat your kid out of it? It's time for the cheap dollars.
I like how you explain this shit like a Mr. Burns from The Simpsons or some shit, bro. This kid, he literally has a business where he goes around the neighborhood cutting grass. He's just a kid that lives across the street from me, so I pay him.
I would contribute to that. I contribute to that.
I
He's a
would too.
good kid. He's a good kid, so I'll pay him.
See
No, definitely.
the kids in our neighborhood would get in your car, steal $5, show up in your living room, smoke cigarettes out the ashtray and all that.
Oh.
What
Nah,
you?
I ain't paying
What's,
them nothing.
See the
is the
kids in my
kids in your
neighborhood, they
neighborhood?
call it the kid boys. They come over there and take a kid.
Is the kids in your neighborhood like Lil Terrio, the little kid that stole the car back in the
Yeah.
day?
Hell yeah,
Dang,
they're like
dang,
little Terrio.
little
Yo,
Terrios. You got a neighborhood of little Terrios.
the
That's
first
hilarious.
time the first time my wife came to my house, I had to work the next morning. So we got up at like 3:50 or 4, getting ready for work, and I see red and blue lights out the living room window, and I'm like, "What the fuck is that?"
You got a
We
flash.
opened the blinds.
You got a flashback.
We opened them. Yeah, I did. We opened blinds, and the damn sheriff is blocking the road, and we see this damn SUV like plow between them and the fire hydrant, like, and they hit the street sign and took off. So I'm trying to look up what's going on, and it was like a 15-year-old and an 18-year-old took a car for a joyride, and they were trying to get out of the neighborhood. Like they came in here trying to escape, and they just like hit the cops and dipped. Yeah, nah, I ain't paying none of these kids nothing.
Yeah, you got the little
Nope.
Terrios.
Little
It's
Terrios
fun.
everywhere.
It's fun to do bad things. Smokes with cigarettes.
I smokes with cigarettes with my friends. Yeah. Yeah. Badass kids.
Hey man,
Yep.
we got a bunch of little
But
nerdy kids in my neighborhood. They don't really do shit. Every time I see a kid that be outside, we got one kid in my neighborhood that be outside all the time. He in like ROTC.
did you just marching down the sidewalk and shit?
Yeah, bro. I be seeing this kid. I'm just like, this
He
the
got his
kid
green.
y'all let out the
He
house?
got his green suit on.
Yeah, he had his
Oh no.
dress uniform. I was just like, well, no, it's not green because it's an Air Force ROTC, so it's blue. And he be with
Okay.
his little fake gun. Well, it's
He
not a
got the patent
gun.
leather. He got the patent leather shoes on though.
Yeah, bro, his spats. He just be turning around.
Shiny than a motherfucker.
I'd be like, I know
Damn.
your parents be like, get the fuck out the house with this shit.
I ain't gonna lie though.
That's
Look,
a
when I first went to high school, I was in the I joined the ROTC.
You thought you was gonna be
for
like one of
real.
them kids in major pain? Do that, somebody.
Yeah.
No, look,
Tiger.
look. No, the high school that I was going to though, it was in Joliet. We were shooting real rifles.
Cause y'all was shooting 30, y'all was shooting 9 mils with 30 rounds on
Wow. I said rifles.
them.
No, we were shooting 22 rifles for like to get our marksman badges. So they would when I heard they were shooting rifles, I'm like, oh yeah, sign me up for the ROTC. It was like, oh, but
Simon.
you gotta perform in a parade with the fake rifle. I'm like, cool, I'll do that. But we get to shoot real rifles though. Like, yeah, we got the gun range downstairs. Oh, I'm in there.
Yo,
Cool.
let me find a video of Keno with a fucking wooden rifle pop locking and shit
Bro,
in
we
the
had the
street.
wooden rifles, the bow action 22. So hard.
Yeah,
We had to
wow
do
with it.
we had to shoot three positions: the prone, the kneel, and yeah, bro. I like that.
Yo,
That was
That's
the
fine.
this,
only reason why I joined. Uncle Ruckus.
yo, yo, Pat, have you ever seen the Catcher Freeman episode with Uncle Ruckus of the Boondocks? The Catcher Freeman episode.
He
That's
probably
fucking
has,
funny.
bro.
He probably has.
But Nate, no, I was in the zoo suit though. I had an all green zoo suit. I was in that boy hot than a motherfucker. We got to shoot rifles though. I had my badges. I was proud of my badges. You couldn't tell me shit.
He's like, I'm a 22 master.
Yeah, you
It's
there. You know
22.
it. You know it. You know, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. Damn it.
Oh man.
That's funny.
Oh man, shout out to Pat.
So what's up,
So
man? Cal, you gotta tell us about the tub rack, man.
yeah,
That thing, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Show
know.
us
I
that,
just
man. Show us how you went crazy on this.
this is the safest way
are
to
you?
enjoy racism.
I'm,
What do you say? The safest way to enjoy racism. I agree. I
It
agree.
might be. It
Yeah.
might be.
That and the Kings of Comedy tour.
Yeah, it might be. It might be.
yeah. I just tried to do everything where I could pull them out completely and clean the whole tub,
Yeah.
and then for feeding and stuff, I got the door on there. I don't know if I. Yeah, see that.
Yeah, I see it. We
Uh,
got
Yeah,
it.
that's an expert tub, man.
yeah,
So
I got crazy with it.
the front of those tubs, what you made those yourself? Or those the same
Yeah.
ones?
Nah, yeah, I made those. I used like a 1 and 5/8 PVC trim, and then plexiglass, and I just cut everything and routed it out. And then
How thick is the plexiglass? And then what you doing for heat?
the what? The perch?
The plexiglass, how thick is it? And then
Oh,
what you
the
doing for heat?
plexiglass isn't the plexiglass ain't crazy. It's I think it's just under a 1/4 inch plexiglass, and then I did back heat on it. I routed LEDs into the side, and I got them on a timer. Then I just try and ventilate everything pretty good now. I just noticed when I started putting better ventilation in my tubs and stuff, everything seemed to work out. Like I never got bad sheds, which I rarely got before, but like I never get them now. Uh, Everything dries out quick, so I can mist, and then like that day everything will be good to go.
Hmm.
Because I know with my emeralds, I keep them pretty much the same as the green trees, but their tubs have always been like the Exoterras. I got the Focus Cube PVC tops, and it's got a 12 by 12 screen on it. And the only time that I ever cover that is in the winter when it gets real dry. But other than that, I just leave it open and it works out good. So yeah, with all of these, I don't know. It it saves me a lot of grief as far as trying to feed trying to feed emeralds with crazy feeding responses
Hmm. Those are
and
nice.
stuff.
That's a
Yeah,
nice rack you built, man.
I like that one a lot. I appreciate that.
I like
And
seeing
I
this DIY stuff, man. That's the stuff that like really helps us out. So like keep showing that
yeah,
stuff off.
yeah, I mean back when I first started, like this is the first rack I made, and it's all 16 quart back heat and stuff. When I first did this one, it was the second build I did. I built that 4x2 as well
That's
cage down
PVC.
there. Yeah, all PVC. I built that one and it turned out good. And then I only needed that for the one big animal, so I did that grow out rack, and it worked out well. So I built the second one. And back then it was cheaper to build my own stuff, but now like as far as building actual cages and stuff, uh, it comes out about the same, except shipping. Shipping is where I end up getting like, all right, I'm gonna build this instead, and it's a lot of damn work too. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When I built my rack, I was just like, yeah, it's cheaper, but I don't know if it's worth it. But I
yeah,
also
yeah. I
I
mean,
also had to realize like the rack that I built, it was just like, yeah, I'm not getting this thing shipped here cheap as shit anyway. And I was
yeah,
just like, and I'm also gonna pay a shitload for a custom setup like this. So I was just like,
Yeah.
you're coming out, Travis. You're coming out on top. Just shut the fuck up and just do it. That's
yeah,
what you gotta do, Travis.
yeah. I always look at it in the beginning, and I'll get all the way to my shopping cart, and then I'm like, well, when this comes in, I'm gonna have to put perches in it. I'm gonna have to get perch mounts. I'm gonna have to get a heat panel, or
Hmm.
heat it or put lights in it and stuff. And by that time, I might as well just build it myself anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Plus, heat tape is
so
amazingly fucking cheap, man. It's
I make
fucking
you miss
cheap as
yeah,
shit.
PVCcages.com.
yeah,
Yeah.
PVC cages. Yeah, that lead time. Or no, I was thinking AP, but I'm sure PVC cages. PVC cages got closed down, didn't it?
Yeah. We
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
a
they
place
retired.
out here in
They
Texas that
retired, but
does.
that lead time was good though.
We got a place
Oh,
out here
really?
in
I
Texas
don't think I
that they
never waited
build custom
3 weeks.
cages.
Longer than 3 weeks.
The good
I
old
think that mine
days.
took like a little over a month to get here. Um, but yeah, man, this place out here in Texas, I got some cages from. They're pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
probably that's probably where you at too, because I think they was in Michigan.
Yeah,
Shit, I'm closer to Michigan.
yeah,
I take the
exactly.
extra day to get to you.
That's probably why it was so much easier for you because you didn't have a big ass freight charge too.
Yeah,
I
that
think
too.
I think I'm gonna have to build like 4 to 6 more cages before I before I get my return on all the saws and shit that I bought and the router and all that.
Routers and
So yeah,
sanders
Yeah.
and
yeah,
levelers.
yeah. I mean, because really you like what you like, and I look at a lot of cages and I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but I would like this different or that different, and I could just build it
What
myself.
made you do the white versus the black? What you got against black people?
That's nah, bro. If I could get 2x4 black sheets at Home Depot, I would, but white was all that was available.
Hmm.
I'm gonna keep it.
And
I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. Like I had the same issue you had trying to find the black sheets, but we didn't have the
yeah,
white sheets here either. So I found a plastics company here that had them, and they had them much cheaper than they were selling them for at Home Depot and other places because they don't
Yeah,
sell it
yeah.
at the
yeah.
Home Depot here.
Well,
I
cause
remember
my
you drove a nice little way for that.
What?
You was like, man, I got to drive like an hour and a half for this PVC, but it's real cheap.
It was actually like less than an hour because it was on the other side of town. The reason why it took
Hmm.
like an hour and a half because it was raining.
You got it cheap though. I know that.
I got
You
it
drove
hella
it
cheap,
super cheap.
bro. I got it like less than like $100 a sheet. Cheap.
yeah, I've got good offers on like 4x8 black PVC sheets, but my table saw is just a portable one, so it's small. I got a small space to work with, and doing all that with the big ones without getting a track saw and all that. It's just easier to take those smaller sheets and
Yeah.
do them, and that's probably why you can't compare the price with a bot cage and stuff is going to be about the same because I'm working with more expensive supplies. So,
True.
but it is what
Yeah.
it is. I like now. It's hard to like my the sea serpents is black and everything else in the room is white. So it's just one of those things I have to accept for now.
Hey man, I get
Eventually,
it. Hey, at least you got a table saw, bro. I had to cut mine on the back of my truck. I just
damn.
put it on the back of the truck and cut it.
Use a fucking chop saw on that thing.
No, I got a pretty good saw. I got a pretty good saw.
Yeah,
But like I had to level it out and like it was kind of a pain in the ass and I had to have another person hold it. And I
yeah.
got a pretty good straight edge. So it was clamped down pretty good. But yeah, I had to cut mine on the back of my truck.
You kept looking
Yeah.
at your helper over on top of your glasses like like this the whole time. Oh,
You said I'm an
old
old
man,
man. I was just like,
oh,
make
old
sure that
man
goddamn,
Travis,
make
old
sure that
man
goddamn
Travis.
line. Make sure you say keep it on that goddamn line. Keep it on that
Yeah,
goddamn line.
old man Travis.
Oh
I was
man,
like, man,
Travis.
I was like, I'm out here looking like my fucking daddy and shit right now, getting hit with a
Yeah.
flashlight, trying to help his
Yeah,
ass out. Fix your face. Fix your
Bust
face.
him up the head. Yeah. Yeah, I
yeah,
can't
that's what's
I
up.
can't wait on anybody to help me with that. I'm bad about it. Like
Yeah, I feel you.
I just get like wake up one morning and I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going to Home Depot. I'm gonna build this cage today, and that's when it's gonna happen. So,
Yeah,
but
Spontaneous.
yeah,
yeah. Also, man, Home Depot's cool because you can get curbside shit and just just go pick it up.
shit. Half the time I end up walking in there anyway. I'm like, hey, I
I
had a
just like walking
curbside.
through. I like walking through there. I ain't gonna lie. I
They
like
take
looking at
hella
tools
long.
and shit. I like look tools and shit. I like going through the plant section and all that shit. The gardening
Yeah,
section. I be
yeah,
like, this is nice saws over here. Look at this wood.
yeah.
Yo,
Oh,
Keto's not building shit anyway. I don't know why the fuck you go look at the songs anyway.
well, it's like looking at saws, bro. I got. What you mean? I got some drills around here. I know how to. Just because I don't got, I ain't building shit. I know how to use a saw. I use saws at work.
Okay. Keto, we're gonna
As long
start a
as you know.
cage business.
Start a cage business.
We're gonna start a cage business.
Nah, man. Because people
Put
look,
that, put
man.
that.
People already be begging you for trying to get you a sell some wrong for $800. So nah, they not gonna be trying to hustle me out of cages.
You gotta put that PhD to work.
She gonna teach you some PhD stuff.
Some PhD stuff, man. What's that?
The
Yo,
PhD stuff, you wouldn't know about that.
hey Kyle, man.
They
I'm
don't know
glad
nothing
you,
about that, Cal.
Kyle. I'm
They
so
ain't up on
glad,
that.
Kyle. I'm
I don't
glad
know
it's
shit
somebody
about
else.
PhD.
The only person that gets to hear conversations like that with Keto is Bill Hoffman, and I'm glad somebody else got to hear
This is
one of those
clowning.
ridiculous ass Keto conversations.
First off, I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
It's like Step Brothers. His dad's like a doctor, and he's like, yeah, he keeps talking about joining the family business, but I'm a doctor.
Uh,
Yeah, I ain't even know
oh,
Cal was on. I didn't even know he could see us.
I don't
This
know if
shit
he
was
can see
clowning.
us, but I know he definitely heard you, Keto.
No, I can see and hear y'all.
Oh shit,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
We gotta figure out something else with that green room situation. Because you had did the same shit with Adam
No,
Salad.
man. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Man, bro, you my brother and I love you, bro. Love you,
I don't know what you're talking about, my brother.
bro. Oh, that's a baby.
Yeah, they tiny.
It's a,
I know. They so
It's
tiny.
so it's so little. The radio said
that
can't
was
trust a
a,
brother that uses us all keto.
Nah, you can. You just can't trust a brother that uses salt on the back of his truck. That's suspect. That
Hey
tell me
man.
right there that he'll hang me
Well, why would I
in a
hang my
pinch.
brother?
In a
Why would
pinch.
I? What is
Look,
this keto? You
look.
think that I'm Uncle Ruckus, bro?
Yes. Yes, brother. Yes. You be like this evidence right here. The guy
Don't
doesn't
you
want to be. Yeah,
don't
Stiegel, come here.
don't you trust them new niggas over there?
Exactly. And then Pat gonna come out of nowhere like, I'm like, Pat, I thought we was brothers. I thought we was
He's
brothers, Pat.
he'd be like, yo, he started singing the song, so I had to come.
I'm like, Pat, I thought we was brothers, man. What happened? He's like, you ain't from Texas.
He gonna be
Hey,
like, he ain't from Texas either. He just got old boots.
exactly. He's like, he one of us.
Hey,
He
Kyle, let
one
me
of
see what
us.
them yellow babies, bro.
all
You
right.
got a new lifted truck. If you got a new lifted truck, I really see, Randy, I was trusting you for a little bit, but
Yeah.
out the window, bro.
Uh, we are
You
never gonna get
50% black.
monetized.
You
We are
50%.
never gonna get
We is one day, man.
monetized.
We is one day. Look at
we
baby. Go ahead, baby. You hold it with two hands.
we gonna get monetized and canceled the same week, bro.
For what?
Oh man, that's beautiful.
There was like two with real thick, prominent dorsals, and there was one that had like that
Mm.
blaze look, and then one had little spots on it, kind of like the rotten banana looking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the rest were pretty.
Cal, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm over the moon for you, man. I'm so proud of you, dog.
I appreciate
I'm
it.
so happy you had
Congratulations,
success. You
bro.
had success with this class, dog. You got 15 out of 15 in the hatch, man. That was, you know what I'm saying? That's a hell of an accomplishment. Bringing it itself, man, but getting all of them to hatch, man. Hell
I
yeah, man.
Shout
appreciate
out to
it.
Con. Shout out to Kyle.
You took the hard way, man. Shut up, man. You got out the mud.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind
You
of
want to
it
you want to toast this cow one
it.
more time, man.
Mm.
Damn, I gotta get another drink. I I don't know. It kind of threw me off for everything else because now like I want to. I really want to pair the Biot to the Cyclops, but with with that with the
Hey, so when
jambalaya
you
kind of.
so getting back to that female, did you when upon introduction did you ever spray her down?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's one thing I did. I was missing them a lot more frequently because I did want
Nah,
to
but
kind of
I'm
try
talking
and.
about like before you like maybe like 10, like 5 to 10 minutes before you put the mail in there. Did you soak it?
I think I think when I noticed he wasn't eating, I just threw him in.
Crap.
But after that, I tried to be more calculated. Like when if I would
Because
separate him from the
that could
biatch.
have her turned up. That could have her turned up too. Because um, shit, even during the day, they may get the day hunting in there and just see that heat register, and they just may see red. But I know
Yeah,
when you hit them with that water, when you hit them with that water, that kind of make them tuck, and then you can kind of ease that male in there, kind of tone
yeah.
it down a little bit.
I would say I focused on that more with when I put him in with the biatch, just because she had attacked him before. Um, but with jambalaya, that it was just like straight chemistry with them. It just happened.
Okay.
So after that first pairing or first time pairing them up, I did like miss before I put him in, but I didn't focus too much on it, mainly with the
Did you,
other one.
did you notice any heavier action during weather changes? Whether y'all had a
We
mini hurricane or something like that, rainstorm come through.
we didn't get a whole lot at that time.
Yeah.
Anytime that it would say it was gonna rain, I'd like open the windows before I left the house, and then it would just barely sprinkle. Like it was real weak. We
Okay.
didn't have any risk of like hurricane, and it was kind of like a drought here for a few weeks there. It was super dry with no rain,
Hmm.
and it wasn't till the last week, the last few days, that there was whatever that last hurricane that just hit Central Florida, and so I didn't even bother opening the windows at that point. I just let it be. But I did have the whole time I had this battery backup charging, like a little solar generator
Right.
charging, and there was a couple times where I thought there might be a risk of a storm that might knock out the power and stuff, and I would just plug the incubator into that until it was clear.
Damn, Chris.
Chris. Chris.
He said, "I'll come down and flood your basement."
You back up and running yet, Chris?
No
Hey,
basements here.
so, oh yeah, y'all don't have basements.
Nope.
Because your soil's too wet.
Yeah.
And y'all don't got
Yeah.
a lot of high rises either, right?
No. No. Pensacola is a tourist spot, but it's not a real. Uh, I don't know. Everything's pretty small downtown, and you rarely see a two-story house.
Really?
But it's yeah, but it's really not like the rest of Florida here, like what you would expect Florida to be. It's more like South Alabama. Like there's a lot of country area, and we don't get as intense weather. Like we still get a winter here and all that. So
That's what's up.
yeah,
Chris got married in Pensacola.
really?
Yeah, Chris was in the
Where?
Navy, so that makes sense. Chris was a Navy
Okay,
brat.
yeah, that does make sense. I see people that I grew up with like come through the Naval Air Station or whatever when I was working and all that. I just see them randomly. Oh damn! So yeah,
Well,
Pensacola is a big spot for that.
Uh,
well, we
a lot
went
of
over
militants, a
time.
lot of strippers.
He said a lot of strippers, tattoo shops, and prostitutes.
Cocaine girls.
Liquor stores. But
Yeah,
yeah,
Right,
so
drive-through liquor stores.
hey,
right.
hey, do y'all got drive-through daiquiri places here?
Not here, nah. But I
And you
did
said
go to
it's
the
a drive-through liquor store?
Yeah,
yeah, drive-through liquor store.
Keno, you gotta move to the south, bro. You really
No,
gotta move
no,
to
I
the
don't.
south. Yes, you
Because
do.
me, I end up moving to the wrong sundown state,
There's no such thing as sundown state.
and then what's gonna happen is it's gonna be Travis on Tuesday nights, and then it's gonna be no more Keno because they gonna find me somewhere in the bottom of the river, hanging by the dock of the bay.
yo,
Good
yo,
times.
let's not talk about that again. Yeah, yeah, where's Bill at when you need him? Hanging off the dock of the bay. Anyway, so we don't went over time, bro. But we had a good time. And Kyle, we really truly appreciate you for coming through.
Yeah.
And
For sure, Cal.
congratulations on your clutch.
Big
And
congratulations on that clutch.
and we appreciate you for putting on for Florida too, because we can't get nobody else from Florida to get here. So
All right,
whenever
and we
we
finally kicked that Florida door in. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
So whenever we do a Florida Legends show, like we did the Texas Legends show, you gotta come through. You gotta,
Anytime y'all want me. Hey, I
you got,
appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah.
And
and we appreciate knowing you.
I appreciate y'all and
And I
all
appreciate
the
The
help.
Drake, the Drake beard, the Drake lineup.
The Drake beard, the slave hat. What else, bro?
Yeah, he said he's not champagne poppy. He Miller
He
Lite
is,
poppy.
man.
Champagne pop.
Champagne
That's right.
moho.
That's
Moho poppy.
moho.
Yeah, man. Champagne moho.
But thank you
Yeah,
to
nah.
everybody. Uh, thank you to everybody that came through. You
Big
know,
congrats on the clutch again, Cal. So straight up though.
Thank you.
and thank you
Appreciate
for
you pulling
everybody
up on
showing our
us.
man Kyle some love. We
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
it. And Kyle, you coming back, bro? Like you
Shame
was
y'all.
one.
Y'all tried to kick us out, but we still
Yeah,
came back in clutch.
yeah, we came through. This is all Brown episodes. But we came back through. We said we ain't letting you stop shit. Stop a goddamn thing. Like
Plymouth
that,
Rock
like Public
episode.
Enemy. It takes a nation of millions to hold us back.
He said public
Bet,
enemy.
bet.
Fight the power.
Yeah.
Fuck
Hey,
the
I
power,
appreciate
MD.
y'all and y'all doing the Chondro Bar Room, man. It's it's good. It's good for our community and I love the people that I fuck with and stuff, and I fuck with y'all, and it's just real cool. It's just a breath of fresh air, you know. I appreciate that.
One thing about the
So,
bar
and I
room, what
learn
we're
a
gonna
lot
do
from it
is
every time, every episode,
we're gonna
even
show
if I'm
love to
not
the
there live.
OGs. Yeah, we're gonna show love to the OGs, but we gonna bring on the
Sounds
people
out.
who yeah, my sounds
Yeah,
out.
who sound out? We can still hear you, Kyle.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Still,
It sounds like
still
you
hear
got
you.
a little farther away, but I can still hear you.
But yeah, like Keno said. Hold on. What's this say? I can't hear now. You can't hear anything. All right. Well, we're just gonna end it,
All right.
and
But yeah, what I was saying was we gonna bring the OGs on, but we gonna also y'all probably gonna see some people that y'all would never seen before, but we rock with them. And
yeah, next week we got another person that y'all probably never seen, and we fuck with heavy, and we gonna keep doing it like this because we
yeah,
love our community.
yeah, we
We
do that.
love the
That's
Chondro
how we do that.
community, and we
And what
want
we
y'all
gonna
to get a
do
different
is
perspective.
yeah, we gonna
I
put that
can't hear y'all at all.
we gonna put a little bit of everybody on.
Oh, he
There's
brought
a
out an
big ass
emerald.
emerald for you.
Oh
Man,
shit!
right. 'Cause I want to talk about emeralds, man. Tell them to fix this. Tell them to fix this shit,
We get him on the next time around.
man.
But thank y'all for coming. We love y'all.
For sure, Pat.
Peace.
For sure, Pat. OG, for sure.
We love you, Pat. And
Until
good
next
night.
week. Hey, peace and head grease.
Fix your face.
Oh, the plane.